All right, everybody, welcome to Startup Media Day. We're really excited to have so many people out for this event. I think it's going to be a great event just for the entire startup community to come together. This event is hosted by FoundersForge. We are a somewhat newer 501c3 nonprofit, and we formed this organization because we have a deep belief in the underdog entrepreneurs in the Appalachian region. In the Appalachian Highlands, being a startup sometimes feels like the odds may be a little bit against you. We have a lot of great support, but as the things have been building out and growing these last few years, this underdog feeling is kind of a challenge, but also a benefit. And so it's really allowed our community to come together in a very tight-knit way and support each other to help us, continue to find new ways to grow and new opportunities to seize. We're focused almost 100% on community. We truly believe that community is really what builds an entrepreneurship ecosystem. And so our focus is community-focused events, high-impact events, anything that kind of brings people together, makes connections, and just opens doors through this network of entrepreneurs supporting organizations, the local government, private industry, as well as just the community at large. Every time somebody meets a startup and gets excited about it, that's an opportunity for our entire ecosystem to grow. We throw several events, and as we get through post-COVID, we'll have quite a few more, but the primary events are Founders Meetup. It's a monthly meetup that brings entrepreneurs together around a topic and also engages anybody that's a non-entrepreneur as well to participate, make those connections, and have those really interesting moments and doors and opportunities open and come to them. TriDev is the region's largest software development and technology meetup, has over 280 members, and they meet every single month and discuss different topics. It's just a great opportunity to meet the local developer community, especially if you're a startup. And as it's been previously announced, we're getting ready to launch our first startup bootcamp. This is in thanks to the City of Johnson City, as well as SyncSpace Entrepreneur Centers, to fund this program, and FoundersForge to offer this. This program, I like to say some programs are very focused on, hey, let's just get small businesses and startups to start. We like to think that we're trying to train some other programs are trying to get people to start, but it's also very supportive and just kind of trying to get them going. We attribute that to kind of going to space camp. With Startup Bootcamp, we're really trying to train astronauts. And so we're really excited to be launching that on March 15th. Applications are still open, and you can find out more at myfoundersforge.com. But the real question I think we have is that why are we here today? And Startup Media Day is really about telling our entrepreneur story. We have a history of innovation. We have lots of entrepreneurial activity happening here, but entrepreneurs are very guilty of just putting our heads down and just trying to get through day to day to grow our businesses and succeed. It's sometimes rare for us to pop up and tell people in our local communities and our region as a whole that we exist. And that creates kind of a difficult situation where startups need the exposure and they need the press, but at the same time, the press may not even know they exist or be aware of the accomplishments they're making. And so today is all about fostering that relationship between the press, the entrepreneurs and the supporting organizations as a whole, all coming together to kind of start creating new opportunities to tell this entrepreneurial story in our city and in our region beyond. And so we're really excited to do this. This is something we're thinking about doing on a quarterly basis. If there's enough news sooner, we'll definitely throw another one sooner. But we just think this is a great opportunity for this information just to be shared. And really at the end of the day, we're hoping that by telling our entrepreneurial story, that our entrepreneurs and our press will help inspire others to start their own companies. Because that's really what an ecosystem is all about. It's creating your own, startup ecosystem is about creating your own venture, being successful, but also giving back to that community towards, to achieve success. And just to say a couple words on this, we invited Mayor Joe Wise from Johnson City, from the support that them and SyncSpace have given us. We just thought we'd give a few minutes for him to talk about the entrepreneurial ecosystem as a whole and how it pertains to the city. Joe, feel free to take it away.
Certainly, David, I appreciate the opportunity to be here and specifically really want to acknowledge entrepreneurs in our community. Johnson City has a history of entrepreneurial enterprises, but we certainly see opportunities for there to be significantly more. We have a history because of organizations like this that are out there encouraging and cultivating startups, but also because we're a city with a robust university and private industries that have also supported that effort. The city is particularly excited to be a part of this as an economic development initiative in partnership with ThinkSpace, and want to see this grow and build, because our city's future, our region's future, is one built on economic development, and entrepreneurial efforts are essential to that. Entrepreneurs solve problems, entrepreneurs teach lessons, entrepreneurs build, create products, and we want to be a community that's known for doing those things. And so I'm excited to be here for this launch, and excited to see what comes out of the efforts of FoundersForge and the boot camp. So I thank you for that opportunity.
Yeah, thank you so much. We're excited to be working together with the entire ecosystem. I mean, we have you're going to hear from quite a few different players today, as well as quite a few startups. And just so we kind of understand the format of how this is going to work, we've got each of the different startups that have news or announcements or just letting you know they exist. Each person has 5 minutes. We're going to hold questions to the end just because we have so much interest. We're just going to kind of keep this going on a roll. The startups, I'm going to be controlling the slide deck to kind of keep it moving, but if you need to just point at me or say next slide, that's completely fine, whatever you'd like to do. And so really at the end of the day, we're just to kick this off, we thought we would announce something new at FoundersForge. And so we're very, very excited to kick this off with a discussion on a pitch event that we've been running. In 2016, we started Pitches and Pints. This actually was the very first event that what was originally called Startup Tri-Cities hosted. And I love this event because 4 local entrepreneurs came together. We said, let's throw a pitch event. We think we should have one in our region again. There's enough entrepreneurial activity happening. None of us pitched. We just put this event together. We thought we could do it in 1 month or 2. We eventually delayed it to 3 months, and we thought we would have 25 people show up. We had 125 show up. We were scrambling in the back to pull out chairs at the venue to get people, there. Since then, we've run the event from 2016 to 2019 4 times. It's been at multiple cities across the region. We've had 28 startups actually pitch their ideas, and over 400 in attendance. We've actually never dropped below 100 people at these events, which has been really exciting. And that's always been a mix of obviously startups, entrepreneurial supporters, but really the local government and the community at large have always been there, and they've been just very interested and excited to see what's happening around entrepreneurship in our region. And thanks to our sponsors, we ran this event completely at cost for 4 years in a row, and we're still able to give out $20,000 in prizes and awards. But then 2020 happened, and that's as we all know, is a very, very tough time. But 2020 actually sparked something very new that we're very, very excited about. A new partnership was created that allows us to bring that pitch type event back to our region. And that partnership is between the new Johnson City Doughboys and FoundersForge. So we're renaming our event to Pitchers and Pitches. It is going to be happening on May 6th. It's going to be an outdoor event, and it's going to be a similar format, but we're going to definitely truly adopt the baseball theme to this pitch event. Presenters are going to pitch their ideas from the pitcher's mound to a panel of judges at the home plate. They're going to be competing still for to pitch their ideas and their concepts within 5 minutes or less for the chance to win cash prizes. This event, again, is going to be open to the general public. Anyone with an idea is going to be able to pitch at it. And anyone that just wants to see what's going on and participate and get excited about the economic development and growth in our region is all completely welcome. Being at the ballpark, we have the ability, even though it's in May, we're very hopeful that it is going to be great weather and COVID's going to be in a better place than it is today. But even if not, we're able to spread people out. We're going to have prepackaged food. we're going to do this in a very COVID safe way. And so we're very excited to bring this event back. I think this is going to be a great new format. And this is something that I think is going to be around for years to come. And this is one of many pitch events that are going to happen throughout the next year, the next few years. It's going to be just one amazing event that's going to fit into this entire ecosystem. And so we're very, very excited to bring this back. We're going to have a lot more information about this as we get a little bit farther along and closer to May, but we have secured the partnership, and we're currently engaging with quite a few sponsors that have a lot of excitement and interest in this type of an event. And I think this is another great way to reuse the assets we already have in our region. The ballpark is a phenomenal family-friendly place, but this is just yet another use for it that I think really just brings the community together in a very unique way. And so that is our big announcement for this event. And next up, we have Stone Mountain Technologies with Mike Garrett-Brandt.
Yeah, remember to take myself off mute. Thank you, David, for this opportunity and for putting this event together. Sounds like we're going to have a lot of fun over the next hour. And to everybody else on the phone, good afternoon. I am Michael Garrett-Brandt, president and founder of Stone Mountain Technologies. Stone Mountain is a developer of thermally driven heat pumps, which can be used for heating your home, your business, or the water for a nice, long, hot, steamy shower. And we do this at very high efficiencies. And unlike a lot of other heat pump technologies out there, we do so even when it gets really cold outside. So using primarily low-cost natural gas or renewable fuels instead of high-priced electricity, our heat pumps will reduce your monthly utility bill, save energy, and lower your carbon footprint. And once commercialized, we hope to build these here in the Tri-Cities region and bring additional good manufacturing jobs to this region. Go ahead, David. We are very proud to announce that the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation and SMTI was recently awarded a grant from the U.S. Department of Energy to demonstrate our heat pump technology on a public building, probably for water heating application, hopefully right here in the Tri-Cities area. The project was one of only 7 chosen nationally through the DOE's Proving Grounds for Advanced Building Technologies program. And that program seeks to demonstrate emerging advanced energy saving technologies prior to their commercial launch. The Tennessee Advanced Energy Business Council and NASIO, which is the National Association of State Energy Officials, are also involved in the project, and they're going to bring project marketing skills and help us disseminate the results to the larger energy and building community. Next. So simply speaking, for every unit of energy our heat pumps use, we are able to harvest half a unit of free energy from the outdoor air. And we do this using a thermodynamic cycle that's been around a long time. In fact, Einstein played with this cycle about 100 years ago or so. We've just kind of brought it to the modern age. The resulting heat energy that we deliver is therefore then about 1/3 renewable. And this heat can be used to heat your home, heat your water, heat your business, and even swimming pool heating we think is going to be a great market. Go ahead. So a few quick facts about Stone Mountain, if you're not familiar with us. Our engineering development lab is here in Johnson City. We have 16 employees. Most of us are geeky engineers and technicians working on this stuff. Over the last 10 years, we've brought in over $12 million in R&D and demonstration grants from the DOE, California Energy Commission, even some folks in Europe has contributed to our development. And we've raised almost $3 million in private investment and all that money coming into the Tri-Cities economy. Today, we've placed over 25 prototypes and real life field demonstrations all over North America from coast to coast, including Canada. Once we commercialize, and we hope to launch in late 2022, we do intend to manufacture these heat pumps in the Tri-Cities region. shipping these to global customers all over the world. We're in the process of raising a Series A investment right now to put the assembly facility in place. And we expect to launch with about 50 employees, a mix of direct and indirect employees. And if we reach our goals of shipping close to 500,000 of these heat pumps in 5 to 6 years from now, that number will grow substantially to 500 or 600 employees. So thank you for your time. I think I came in under 5 minutes. My contact information is listed here on the screen in front of you. I'd be happy to take any questions, although it sounds like we're doing at the end. I do have to drop off of here at 1 o'clock, David. So if this goes past 1 o'clock, then anyone on the phone that has any additional questions, feel free to reach out to me directly.
No problem. Yeah, thank you so much, Michael. And yeah, it was under 5 minutes. Very well done. If you do have questions for him beforehand, feel free to send them to him in the chat as well. And of course, we can connect you directly. You can connect out to him as well. But we're always happy to hear it. I love Stone Mountain Technologies. The fact that you guys are built from research all the way up to building out of manufacturing, from a startup all the way to where you guys are and where you're headed, is just such a great economic opportunity for our region. And so that's phenomenal. Next up we have Lauren Glass with Ripple, and then on deck we have Steve Nice with Shield Nutraceuticals.
Thank you, David. Sorry, I was trying to make sure you were done. So I'm Lauren. I'm the founder of Ripple, and you can go ahead to the very first slide. Ripple is an online platform that originally started to connect college students with career coaches, and those coaches would come in the form of the university's alumni and career professionals in the region or wherever the university is located. And I would go on and on about what we do, but if the video is going to work, David, is it going to work? But
So
pause
let me
it.
know if you guys can hear the audio.
They do have to hear the audio, but I can't hear it.
You can't?
Mm-mm.
Give me 1 quick second.
I'm here.
More video later. There it goes. I probably got
Okay.
conflict.
Navigating through college, choosing your major, and planning for your future career should be fun and exciting, not stressful and terrifying. But do you know what the students are saying? 63% of college students are experiencing overwhelming anxiety, one of the main factors being not knowing what major they're going to choose and not knowing what they're going to do with it once they graduate. And on top of that, over 50% of students say that they receive career and college advice from family and friends, while 83% say that it is way more helpful for them to get advice from people that are actually in a line of work that they're interested in. But if students don't have anyone in their own personal networks that they want to get guidance from, this should never be a roadblock, especially when they have access to an alumni network full of vets, astronauts, scientists, artists, teachers, entrepreneurs, all at their fingertips. Now, let me show you how it works. Go to makearipple.com, and whether you're an alumni or a student, the way you create your profile will be exactly the same. Once you log in, you will be put into your own custom portal. If you're a student, you can browse alumni, find the one that has the experience that you're looking to learn from, and book your coaching session that will happen all via video chat. For alumni, it's important that you put your best foot forward on your bio. This is how students will learn about you to know if you're the right fit to help them on their journey. From there, you'll need to open up any available time slots that you have so that students can see when you're available to have a session with them. Once you join the Ripple community, you'll have access to one-of-a-kind Ripple Talks. These are stories from hand-selected alumni and career professionals that are here to share their successes, failures, and everything in between. What are you waiting for? Become a Ripple partner today. Navigating through
You don't have to put everybody through that again. So as you can tell, we filmed that video during COVID, which meant I was the talent for every part of the video. But we're really excited of the work that we have been able to do so far with ETSU. And I see Liz and Audrey and Heath and David, obviously on this call, have all been very key players in getting us to the point that we are right now. And so we've been working with ETSU for a little over a year, and we are specifically working with the business school right now, engaging their alumni with the business students, and having coaching sessions and vice versa. But our newest partnership that we are excited to announce is with the NRPA, which is the National Parks and Recs Association. And they were actually working exclusively with the Parks and Recs Association in Carter County. And they have created a program that they've actually partnered their Parks and Rec department with the Anti-Drug Coalition. And they have a big mentorship program that typically happens all in person with students throughout Carter County and just different mentors that they identify. So they're actually going to be using Ripple to facilitate all of their mentorship efforts for 2021. So we are naturally just kind of moving into not only the collegiate world, but the nonprofit world, which is really exciting for us. And I think that's all the big news. And that's about me. So if you want this deck, you can have it. We don't have to talk about me in any more depth.
You're not looking forward to just talking all about yourself?
No, I hate this. When you talked about like putting your head down, yeah, this isn't I like to tell the story, but I'm looking forward to having videos with talent that's not me, and also having other people to talk about that's not me, but that's a startup world, right?
Oh, it is, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Lauren. And that was great news, exciting. Next up, we have Steve Nice with Shield Nutraceuticals, and on deck we have Sonu with the East Tennessee State University's Entrepreneurship Program. So take it away, Steve, whenever you're ready.
All right, thank you, David, and it's a pleasure to be here and happy to be participating in this today. And we've been working on a project to create a digestive wellness product. It's called Digest Shield, and it was formerly called Gluten Shield. And with the help of ETSU and the Innovation Lab, we started with this project, and it was mainly just research to find out if we could create a digestive supplement that could help people process gluten and dairy and other processed foods more easily. And we gave this project to a group over at the ETSU. Dr. Clark is with us today. Audrey, really, the director of the ETSU Innovation Lab, introduced us to Dr. Clark and to Dr. Chuck Collins. And they really spent a couple of years looking into all the different things that we could use to possibly pull together a digestive supplement. And from that, we did a lot of testing and ultimately created a product that we just handed out to a number of people in our local community to try out. And as well as my wife and I were using it ourselves. And we ultimately came up with a product that we all felt very comfortable with. And this has been a process that's taken, I want to say, a full 3.5, 4 years. And so after we finalized the product and initially launched it as Gluten Shield several years ago, we placed the product into the natural food store with Patsy Meredith. We also got a couple of local physicians who are digestive docs to prescribe it to their patients. And we had this very careful evolution of the product. We also had to achieve getting insurance for it to be able to launch it nationwide. But interestingly, this project was taken up by one of Dr. Clark's PhD students, and they designed a clinical trial for the product. And it took the better part of a year. So last year, the results from that were presented. So we finally have a product that we feel comfortable with. We have had a lot of people using it now. We finally started offering it through Amazon and through Smart World, 2 websites where the product is available for purchase. And then, of course, as we mentioned, it's been being sold at the natural foods market here in Johnson City for about 3 years. And the sales are quite good and the repeat business has been quite good. But during that time, we realized that a lot of people were picking this up potentially for help with gluten issues, and then finally realizing that it helps with a lot of other types of food allergies and things that people experience when they eat different types of foods. And especially us, we used to own Mona Lisa's, and we made gelato ice cream, one of my favorite things in the world to eat. And I cannot eat ice cream or gelato without having to take a digestive enzyme. So this is a product that we felt like was not just pigeonholed for gluten relief, but we found out that it was a general digestive powerhouse, is what we like to call it, containing prebiotics, probiotics, and enzymes. So we changed the name to Digest Shield, and we're now just bringing on our first integrative medicine doctor, who will actually be our primary endorser of the product. And I can't reveal his name at the moment, but that's news that will be coming up here in just about a week or two. But we've changed the name to Digest Shield, and this is the information about our team. Obviously, Dr. DePelto, Dr. Clark, Dr. Collins, our science advisors, and they've been really keeping us close to just the science and making sure that the research we're doing is relevant, and all that's being presented on the website shieldnutra.com. So if you have any questions about the product, you can find answers there at that website. And we're, like I say, we're very grateful to be here, and that's our big news. Gluten Shield is now Digest Shield, and I recommend, if you have any digestive issues, that you all try it for yourselves.
That's so great. Thanks so much for sharing that. That's exciting news, and it's awesome to see the cross collaboration that's happening. That's something I think that is a very positive sign of our entrepreneurial ecosystem. And so, yeah, thanks again, Steve.
Welcome.
And so next up, we have Sonu from the entrepreneurship department, and on deck, we have the Jeb Foundation. And I'm very excited for Sonu to be sharing what's going on with entrepreneurship. This is such a good opportunity. I actually joined as a co-teaching a couple of classes with them each year, and it's just a great piece to the overall pipeline that's happening in the just entire regional ecosystem for entrepreneurship. And so, Sonu, why don't you take it away and see what you have to say?
Awesome, great. Let's go to the next chart. And great. So I have just several stories I want to tell you about. The story that comes to mind first is about ceramics, and you're working on ceramics, and it takes you a really long time to get a piece right. And in getting that piece right, you actually have to make lots and lots of mistakes to finally get a piece that works. And no surprise, Mozart had 600 compositions, 5 of them were big hitters, right? Bach had 1,000, so on and so forth. And so really what we're trying to do for the student entrepreneurs at ETSU is to figure out a way to help them build more stuff, to help them pitch more, connect more with community founders and investors and mentors, and basically change how they think about creating products. We want them to act more. Okay, let's go to the next chart. And in doing so, we want to create a space, a safe space for them on campus. If you look at the kinds of pitches that the students have made, either on their own as part of class or part of the iBucks competition, which is an event that got started, and again, because of COVID, we had to shut that down. Hopefully we'll get that started again. But the ideas that have come forth have been pretty amazing. We've had judges from the community take a look at these ideas, and we've had at least three that I know of where they've actually had an exit. One was the rescue pen, one was daily eats in terms of taking it to production, and then pick up and play, which is again a software app from a student at school. We're also working with Instructoderm. This is a team of faculty members. This is part of our entrepreneurship program, and we're working with them and with Heath to figure out ways to move them forward. Again, this is part of our ETSU entrepreneurship activity. Next one. What we've done is we've revamped the idea of entrepreneurship, and we've added a couple of courses that are what we're calling core or the foundation of the entrepreneurship minor. And we're exposing students to an entrepreneurship mindset, a bit about the startup operations, and an incubation lab, which is a hands-on notion that takes students from concept to pitch deck. And we use the business model canvas map. In addition to that, they have a whole host of opportunities to select classes, right from finance and funding to sustainability, to learning about different models, learning how to create prototypes with low code or no code, as well as intellectual property. Pretty soon, you're going to see from ETSU another addition to this, and that's going to be a brewing and distillation minor. So essentially, you think of our entrepreneurship program where you are learning a couple of core capabilities, and then you can zero in on topics or areas that are of interest to you through the electives. Next chart. And those areas of interest might be healthcare, it might be music, it might be recreation, you name it. But essentially, you don't have to have any prerequisites. The faculty we have are practitioners. They're practitioners worked with growth organizations. They're serial entrepreneurs. They're folks who have done funding. We have access to a pitch competition. We're tying them very closely to mentors from the community with an opportunity to have living and learning on campus, both in the form of dormitories where you live and learn with entrepreneurs, other student entrepreneurs, as well as have a safe space in one of the residence halls. Next chart. And when we think about success, we believe our success is going to be preparing students for the entrepreneurial journey. Our success will be measured by how well we give them forward advice and mentoring them and giving them confidence for these entrepreneurial aspirations. We want to be able to track the students and where they are in their pipeline. Another aspect we want to measure, and a measure of success, will be how well we get our students to network with and participate with local entrepreneurs, and participate not just in our competitions and the local competitions such as Pitches and Pints, but go further. And lastly, we want to make sure that we can track our pipeline and keep in touch with those students as they move on outside of ETSU and bring them back to us as mentors and guest speakers and such.
Well, I'm really excited about this program. This reminds me of some time that was when I was at Purdue University. They had the Foundry, and I love the connection of the university with the local entrepreneurship ecosystem. And so it just makes a nice transition for any student entrepreneur that's wanting to start their own venture and really get it incubated while at the university. And then as they graduate, move on, hopefully we can keep them here by engaging them into the local entrepreneurship ecosystem in our region. And so I think it's just a great next step, and I'm very, very excited for this program. So thank you so much for sharing, Sonu.
Absolutely, absolutely. Just as a quick number for folks, so we had a handful of students a couple of years ago, and we're hitting probably close to 50 students who are in the program. So again, we're seeing a pretty good growth, and looking forward to continue that.
Great. Well, next up we have the Jeb Foundation, and right after the Jeb Foundation we have Zenhammer.
So good afternoon. My name is Catherine McDonald. I am the founder and CEO of Jeb Foundation Advocates for the Elderly. About myself, at a really young age, I was a caregiver for my parents, and that's allowed me the opportunity to personally recognize the importance of emotional health in relation to physical health. So in 2017, I created the JEB Foundation to help seniors who lack that emotional support from their community, um, just like my parents did. And we help those seniors improve their mental well-being through quality care services and community engagement activities. Our core values are honesty, efficiency, and respect. The next slide. So as was mentioned before, in 2020, um, everything went haywire. But despite that, we've been able to continue to accomplish our mission to serve. And what you'll see here is a small screenshot of some of the events that we held. We had our Forward Summer Workshop. This was a hybrid virtual opportunity to foster intergenerational relationships in the community. And this will return this summer, 2021. We also held a drive-by food bank at our home office. We had our Steps for Seniors mental health awareness walk that acknowledged elders who live in residential homes that have been isolated throughout the year. And now we've grown to become a licensed and insured non-medical home care agency. And this is also called a personal assistance service, a personal assistance services agency. Our goal with this is to provide quality home care that renews respect in the community and in the home. And we plan to accomplish this through by thoroughly screening and training our caregivers, along with having a personalized admission process. So what makes our agency unique is that we have a strong community presence, and we put forth a lot of effort to connect with small and local businesses to ensure that we're all providing the best service in our industry. Next slide. So Jeff Foundation will always be more than just a home care agency. We hope to ground ourselves in this beautifully diverse community by again training those individuals to become advocates for the elderly and by creating experiences that support emotional and mental health for older adults. So if you or a loved one will benefit from our services, would like to volunteer or to support our efforts, you can check out our website at jebadvocate.org. You can contact us by phone, by email. You can like us on Facebook or follow us on Instagram. And thank you, David and Founders Forge, for this opportunity to talk about this announcement. And thank you for your support and partnership.
Thank you so much for sharing. I think this is such a unique and interesting model for transgenerational care. It's, yeah, we wish you well and we're happy to help in any way we possibly can. So thanks again for sharing. Next up, we've got Zenhammer. So Edwin, take it away.
Hello, everybody. I'm Edwin Williams, founder and CEO of Zenhammer, the pocket office for subcontractors. Next slide. Meet Jake. He's a really talented carpenter, and as such, he's always in high demand. But the problem is that even though he's really skilled in carpentry, his business administration skills are lacking. One of his biggest problems is overbooking, where he will book multiple jobs in a week, and as a result, he will miss a few. This also leads to disorganization, and that can lead to things like improper invoicing, where he's forgotten to send invoices, sent them late, and in one or two instances, even had the wrong numbers in the invoice. These things lead to bad client relations, be it with a homeowner or with a general contractor. And in this industry, reputation is everything. And if you have a bad reputation, you don't get work. And it's not that he hasn't looked around, he has, but the other solutions to help him solve this problem tend to be on the pricey end. Next slide. So what we did was we helped to help Jake was create Zenhammer, a mobile app that allows him to manage his business needs from the palm of his hand. So with Zenhammer, he can create, schedule, and manage his job very easily with a simple UI. The app automatically communicates to the client the updates that Jake does. So as he comes in, checks into the job, say he's doing a finished trim, uploads his pictures, the client gets that information as he does it. And not just that, at the end of the job or as needed throughout the process, with our mobile invoicing tool, Jake can create an accurate and simple invoice to send to that client and get paid directly into his bank account through the platform. And last but also not least, the app is affordable for someone like Jake, who either is working by himself or with one or two other people. Next slide. A brief history of ZenHammer. So in fall of 2019, we entered Atlanta Tech Village's pre-accelerator cohort. We graduated that in November and then entered startup school, which was also in Atlanta in spring of 2020. Then the pandemic hit and we, as everybody knows, interesting year. But in fall, we entered SingSpace's marketing accelerator here in Kingsport, Tennessee. And while in the accelerator, we were able to launch our app initial version into the app stores, both in Google Play and in Apple. And then this past January, we launched our invoicing and added a free version to ZenHammer that allows contractors to test out the app with one job at a time. Next slide. So you're wondering what's next for us. So coming to spring, our next big feature update will be integrated maps and calendar, which will add functionality to our geolocation and set up for our summer project of expanding our management platform. Right now, we can only handle contractors who operate by themselves or with 2 or 3 other people. But this summer, we are adding features that allow larger companies that have multiple crews to then manage their crews and send them onto the job site as well. And then by the end of the year, we're hoping to have our phase 1 complete. With our phase 1 complete, that will really differentiate us from our competition. We're kind of mum on that, but hopefully it'll be a big reveal and we will do an update when that happens. Next slide. So if you have any questions, again, I'm Edwin Williams, founder and CEO of ZenHammer. And my contact information is edwin@getzenhammer.com. And also visit us on our website at getzenhammer.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Edwin. Yeah, it's been exciting to see this app evolve and getting fully released. It's definitely a exciting time for contractors. The amount of people that have people have dove into home projects and needing contractors to help do things around the house as well as yard work, I mean, everything. And so it's, I think, a very, very well needed item. Next up, we do have Andy with Lavengel and RTD Nutraceuticals. And next up after that will be SingSpace accelerators. So Andy, if you're ready, feel free to take it away. Andy, I think you're still muted.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Hi, my name is Andy Clark. I'm Chief Technology Officer of RTD Nutraceuticals, and I'm also a Professor of Clinical Nutrition and Associate Dean of Research at East Tennessee State University. I'm also the inventor of Lavengel. RTD Nutraceuticals launched Lavengel in May 2020. We're a startup company with 4 employees, 2 part-time dogs. We're headquartered in Johnson City, Tennessee. Lavengel is a homeopathic, nutrition-based topical gel comprised of vitamin E, vitamin C, zinc, organic lavender oil, and deionized distilled water with a consistency slightly thicker than honey. A teardrop-sized amount of Lavengel will cover the area approximately the size of the back of your hand. A little bit goes a long way. We say that Lavengel is made for best friends because it's effective in resolving dermatological issues in both humans and canines. We continue to be amazed about conditions our customers have that Lavengel has helped to resolve. Lavengel is made in the USA under GMP, Good Manufacturing Protocol conditions, with products sourced from North America. Lavengel is safe to lick because it is composed of nutrients that are metabolized in the body. Lavengel is safe for both humans and canines. Next slide, please. Lavengel differs from other homeopathic products on the market in that it is backed by over 10 years of university research. Over 500 dogs have been treated for dermatological issues such as hot spots, insect bites, abrasions, moist-filled dermatitis, spider bites, and the healing of incision lines in regional veterinary clinics with great success. In a research trial evaluating second-degree burns using a pig model at Wake Forest University Medical School, Lavengel healed burns faster with less scar tissue formation than burns treated with silver sulfadiazine or Silvadene, the standard of care treatment. Current research efforts are evaluating resolving radiation burns or disrupted skin due to radiation therapy for breast cancer. Results to date are looking very positive. We are looking for more trial participants. Microbiological research at ETSU demonstrates Lavengel's capability of inhibiting the growth of bacteria that resides in wounds, especially Staphylococcus organisms. If you are doubtful of Lavengel's effectiveness, use a small amount on a mosquito bite. Itching and swelling are gone almost instantly. Next slide. Because of Lavengel's effectiveness against Staphylococcus organisms, RTD Nutraceuticals was awarded a U.S. patent on February 9th, 2021, and that is our new information. Lavengel is effective against MRSA, or methicillin-resistant Staph aureus bacteria, as depicted in the photograph and growth curve. In the photograph in the top left corner, controlled growth is widespread, with each green dot representing a MRSA colony. However, in the photograph to the right, growth is almost non-existent when 10% Lavengel is added to the broth. These photographs were taken 3 hours post-incubation. In the graph bottom left, the lavender line shows complete inhibition of MRSA growth by 48 hours, while the control agar plate shows uninhibited growth. Lavengel agar plates contained 8% Lavengel. In addition, Lavengel is effective against MRSA biofilms, a difficult to treat bacterial infection. Next slide. Because we believe in giving back, we donate $1 for every tube of Lavengel sold to Companions for Heroes, our charity partner. Companions for Heroes rescues dogs from animal pounds, trains them, and donates them free of charge to active military veterans, first responders, and their families. This nonprofit organization has also raised awareness for PTSD and traumatic brain injury. We believe in the mission of Companions for Heroes because both the dog and the recipient are saved in the process. Next slide. Contact us for more information by going to our website, lavengel.com. Drop me a line at my email, andy@lavengel.com, or text me on my cell phone. We'd love to talk to you and have you learn more about our business and Lavengel. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you, Andy. I love that you shared that you guys just fairly recently got your patent. I think a lot of times entrepreneurship ecosystems and economic development can be tied to patent awards. And so seeing patents being awarded to startups in our region is a awesome achievement, something I think should be covered. And I think it's something we're going to see more of as all of these companies and all of the others that are out there right now continue to evolve and build out new technologies, processes, and all kinds of other things. And
Great,
so,
thanks.
yeah,
I appreciate it.
I'm
And
very,
Sonia,
very
I'd
excited about it.
like to get with you sometime and just chat, since we're right across the street from each other.
Yeah, we're already facilitating more connections. So next up we have SyncSpace, and then right after SyncSpace we have Action VFX. So Heath, whenever you're ready.
No, thank you, David. It's great to be here today. It's so exciting to see so many of you, most of which that we've worked together in some capacity or another, and hear all these wonderful updates. This is a great event. I'm so thankful for David and FoundersForge for putting this on, because it's just good to get to hear each other and get to see what others are doing here in our area and learn how we can connect and do more to help each other as we grow this region. SyncSpace is an entrepreneur center. It's been around for 4 years, but we've been the network partner for Launch Tennessee and the Northeast Tennessee part of the state. for the last couple of years. And what we are really focused on is building program and opportunities to connect entrepreneurs with the opportunities for customers here in the region, and then also helping grow the companies in our region and connecting with customers out of the region. One of the great things about being an entrepreneur myself is I realized how impactful the network, the business community of the area was on my own business, and then also how connecting that to others and helping other entrepreneurs find similar opportunities through those communities can be very beneficial in your growing early days of the company, and then also when you start to hire and look for bigger opportunities. So SyncSpace was built around trying to replicate that for as many of the entrepreneurs as we can. One of the main things that we really focused on with the Launch Tennessee partnership is although there is a lot of resources that come with that partnership, the connectivity and the emphasis that the state of Tennessee has for entrepreneurs and has for helping entrepreneurs stay in their part of the state that they're already in is really tremendous. And being able to help be a bridge for a lot of those facilities and resources and mentor networks is really important for the Northeast state or the Northeast community. And we're really proud to be the partner there as well. Next slide, David. A few quick facts about us. Like I mentioned, we're the Launch Tennessee network partner. SyncSpace was really born out of the endorsement of the Two Mayors Task Force and has had success with a lot of city and county governments in our region. As David has said, something special is happening in entrepreneurship, and it has been for the last 3 years or so, 3 or 4 years here in our region, and to help bring a lot of that public sector support into the conversation about entrepreneurship has been a real mission of SyncSpace, and we're very happy with the partnerships that we've performed there. We also launched the region's first accelerator program last year, in which we had several companies apply and participate in. And of course, COVID was an interesting time for us to connect companies with partners in the region because of all the impacts on how companies were spending money and integrating with outside vendors. But we are really proud of the success we've had there in onboarding our private sector support, which I'll show in just a second. We're about to launch the second version of that cohort, and we've already, even before our applications have been posted for submitting, we're seeing a lot of interest in companies from outside of the region looking into Northeast Tennessee because of something that is part of our mission that we refer to as the comparative advantage. So if the section here that says our mission is to, what we again are doing is trying to, how do we help companies like all the ones on this call find opportunities to grow and become part of the economic fabric of our region or the business community here. The second thing is that we're building pilot opportunities to recruit companies that are not in our area that need workforce, that need services that our other entrepreneurs provide to our area. And we use that based on that comparative advantage. You know, one of the great things about the Tri-Cities and the whole Appalachian Highlands region is that we have really talented people in different industries that are our neighbors. For example, we have a tremendous density of healthcare resources in Johnson City, and the partnership we have in Johnson City is lending tremendously to this recruiting effort we see in the second accelerator. But when you combine that with what we see in Kingsport around advanced manufacturing or in Bristol around technology and the entertainment space, when you overlap those, we've become a really attractive location in the country for those overlaps of expertise, combined with all the other economic incentives. It's pretty good to live in this region. So we see a lot of opportunity for us to continue to grow and build opportunities for all entrepreneurs through that comparative advantage approach. And then also one of the things that I think we all can agree on in this call is that we really want to see our region become known as the epicenter for rural entrepreneurship. A lot of shifts, a lot of migrations happening in the country, and we want to become known for that as a landing spot for entrepreneurs that are outside of the metro areas. And we think that's very doable. We have all the natural resources to do that, the natural talent here. And so this coalescence of the ecosystem from events like today to the startup boot camp that I hope we make sure we get everybody apply or be very in tune for that. And then through our accelerator programs that we really have something to offer nationally to be that epicenter for rural entrepreneurship. Go ahead, next slide. And the great thing about it is, as I mentioned, that we're seeing such a unique focus on entrepreneurship as many of you have attested and are connecting with each other, but also these groups. The partners from the public and private sector have been tremendous to come out for the support of our programs, for the support of the pitch contests, and for support of many things that we haven't introduced yet. And so I would definitely suggest that we keep connected. Let's continue to conversate together, because there is more opportunities opening for your businesses to grow and expand here, or for us to help connect with capital and other resources than there has been in the past. And that's exponentially accelerating for us. Again, next slide, David. Again, my name is Heath Gwynn. I'm the president of ThinkSpace Entrepreneur Center. We have a variety of different programs that happen. The primary focus right now is the FoundersForge Startup Bootcamp that we're doing. Starts in March. And then we have many announcements to come. You can visit our website at thinkspace.org/programs to see a direct link to all the different things that we have in the programming space. And please feel free to capture my contact information if I can ever do anything to help, or if you just want to catch up with where you're currently at. I'd love to talk to you, and we'll figure out a way to help you. Thank you very much for this, David. And I appreciate the opportunity to speak.
Yeah, thanks, Heath. Just for the sake of time, I'm going to keep moving right on ahead. We've got Action VFX up now, and the next one will be HD Clean. Action VFX with Rodolphe Pierre-Louis is a very, very awesome business, and also Ro has been a founding member of FoundersForge, and also hosts Founders Meetup on a monthly basis as well. And so Ro is very ingrained into the startup ecosystem, and so we really appreciate all that you do and have done, and really can't wait to hear about your business. So whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Sweet. Well, thank you for the great introduction, David. So as I said, my name is Rodolphe Pierre-Louis, and I'm the founder and CEO of Action VFX. We are a visual effects stock footage company located in downtown Johnson City. We launched in 2016, and it started as just 2 guys working in my apartment, and now we have grown to a team of 12 people, and we're continuing our mission to do cool stuff in Johnson City. Go ahead and go to the next slide. So we are a visual effects stock footage company. And what we do is we basically film and create different type of effects that our customers can use in their own projects. So the concept of stock footage is not new. For example, if you're making a commercial and you need a shot of a smiling baby, you can go to different stock footage websites and purchase that shot and use it in your commercial. So we do something similar, but instead of smiling babies, we actually film, real life explosions and fire and, different types of cool effects like that our clients are still able to essentially purchase from our website and use in their own projects. So let's say you're making a movie and you want a building to burn down and you do not know a way to do that safely. It's okay, because we already did that for you, and you can simply use some of our fire elements and put that into your own project. So as you can see in this slide right here, we have a pretty good sized library, and we have different effects, even things like storm clouds and lens flares. So not everything is destruction based, just anything to help someone make a better movie, better TV show. Next slide. So we are used by everyone all around the world, from students, hobbyists, and visual effects professionals. We're also used on some bigger projects that you may have seen or heard of. We definitely have a lot of Netflix projects that use a lot of our stuff. We've been used in like Spider-Man Far From Home, which is a pretty big accomplishment for us. It was great seeing that stuff. So overall, it's just great to see our mission continue to help people create faster, but also more realistic visual effects for their movies and TV shows. Next slide. So we're on a mission to build the undisputed best and largest library of visual effects assets in the world. And so far, we're doing very good on that mission. We have about 3,800 individual effects, from the fire explosions, blood, smoke, that people can use into their own projects. And this is all something, the industry really needed. Our initial funding came from Kickstarter, where visual effects artists themselves are the one that supported the project and essentially gave us the funding to even get Action VFX started. So it's been great to be doing that. Johnson City has been a great home for us, and we plan on keeping the company here and growing the company here. Despite this region not being really known for, media production, it's really just been great, building this in Johnson City. All right, next slide. So the big news that we're working on right now, which is a slight pivot from what we usually do, is we're working on crowd assets. And basically what this means is because of COVID, last year, a lot of productions had to shut down. And, slowly things started to open back up. But one big need everyone in the industry was having is, having large crowds of people, in the movie industry, we call them extras. And, usually productions would hire hundreds, if not thousands of extras, to be in the background to make a scene look more real. Needless to say, because of COVID, it's been pretty much impossible to safely gather large crowds of people. So that's when we got to thinking, to seeing, okay, in our mission to help visual effects artists, do faster and better effects, how can we help with this? And that's when we decided that, hey, let us give this a try and actually create crowd elements. So currently we're filming in our studio one at a time, individual people on a green screen doing various actions. And basically this is what our customers will be able to use to build crowds digitally using real people. Currently, we're working on sports crowds as well as concert crowds, but we also have plans to create a lot more variety, depending on, what situation you need a crowd for in your production. So once this launches, productions everywhere will be able to create very large crowds without having to hire hundreds of extras and, gathering a bunch of people in one room. And it will all still look real because we are filming real actors. Next slide. So this is us in a nutshell. My name is Rodolphe once again, and this is my contact information. If you have any more questions about this, we would love to talk to you. Thank you.
I did not know what you were going to be presenting, and that is phenomenal. That sounds like such a good creative approach to a problem that COVID created, but it'll be needed even after the fact. I am going to break the Q&A rule. I have one question. Is it possible for all of us to line up at your office and all become extras?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Great.
And you will see yourselves in different movies. So that'll be a win-win.
I want to be in Stranger Things 4.
Well, let's get filming now so it can happen.
Sounds good. Thanks so much for sharing that, Ro. That's such an awesome idea. And it's always exciting to see your company continue to grow.
Thank you. Thanks for this opportunity.
Absolutely. And so next up, we have HD Clean with TJ O'Neill, and then we have the Innovation Lab on deck. So TJ, if you're ready, feel free to go ahead. Oh, we have TJ.
Audrey, I just looked through the participants and I'm not seeing TJ here.
I thought I saw him on there earlier.
Maybe Liz, could you call TJ, because maybe he was unable to get in because there were some glitches.
Yeah, I will follow up with TJ, and I'll have him do like a quick recording, and we can send that out as well. I think it's worth sharing that TJ's been involved in working within the ecosystem for a couple of years now, and he has invented a way to solve the problem of infections and bleeding affecting patients that are on a catheter for hemodialysis treatments. And so it's a really cool medical device that is a it's just been evolving and going through the whole process one step at a time. And so we'll have him, do like a little short video with this to share with the media and everyone else as well. But it's just been really awesome seeing this kind of evolve over time. And I mean, he's just a very innovative individual. So sorry he couldn't be with us today, and I'll figure out what happened with that. So for next time. And so Audrey, in the meantime, I will have you go, and if Liz can get a hold of him, just send me a message and we will get him on board. But right now, as it stands, we have Dr. Audrey DePelto with the Innovation Lab, which you've heard quite a bit, mentioned quite a few times through the ecosystem. They're a great ecosystem supporter. And then on deck, we have Hello Career Guru.
Okay, before I start on the Innovation Lab, I want to go back to about 2 or 3 years ago. Does anybody remember the last economic meeting that we had at the Millennium Center? Well, they showed that the Tri-Cities area was flatlined in comparison to Chattanooga, Knoxville, Memphis, and Nashville that looked like it was growing. And it was very disconcerting. A couple of weeks later, I spoke at a Wizard of Oz meeting, and I asserted that if you looked at the demographics for other regions around the country that looked like ours, everybody was just going down. And I asserted that the reason why we flatlined, which was a good thing, was because of this entrepreneurial ecosystem. So I just want to say that this is what is sustaining us, and this is going to be what is going to keep us growing. Okay, would you go to the slide, please? All right, so at the ETSU Innovation Lab, and I'm going to be speaking for myself as well as for Liz Bennett, who is the best assistant director that anyone could ever ask for. But what we do is we try to bring entrepreneurial thinking, not just outside the box, because we do want them to include what is inside the box as well. So basically what we do is we work on that entrepreneurial mindset. And that's a whole different lecture. David, could you continue? So our vision is transforming the future through innovation. And would you be able to go to the next slide as well? Because what I do is what I want to talk about is what is new. We have several different programs at the Innovation Lab. We have a residential program where people actually rent office, a wet lab or dry lab space. We have virtual members that people belong just through virtual programs like this. We have affiliate memberships where people could use all of our shared facilities. They get access to our mailroom, and they could use this as our address. Some people just don't, when they're starting up, don't like using their homes as their business address. What I want to do is talk about another one of our programs, which is the International Soft Landings Program. And in that, we are about one of 26 programs worldwide out of 3,000 business incubators. There's only 26 that have these structures in place to recruit and land international companies. And I want to assert that in order for any entrepreneur to be successful, they need to have their mastermind. And I assert that Alan Bridwell of the Northeast Tennessee Valley Regional Industrial Association is that. So during COVID 2020, we still recruited 2 international companies. We were on track to have a third, but they were unable to travel over here. We do have an international company that joined as an affiliate member in 2021. But if you go up and look here, Crown Therapeutics, we are having Dr. Munsi Shu enter the Innovation Lab doing facial creams and different kind of skincare products. He's entering on March 1st. We have, Liz made made this slide. It's really good, but I'm not finding what I need to see. So SME Bio, we are working with Dr. Michael Stump, and we have just recruited an Atlantic company to launch their new company here. We are in the process of writing a press release, so that should be coming out. But we're working in collaboration with ETSU, the Innovation Lab, our medical school, and Ballard Health, our hospital systems. Let's see. Gosh, newest members. Tendea Technology, we do have Dr. Mubandamina with us here. We have another member that will be entering in June, Philip Stuckey. He has just recently pitched to the Innovation Crossroads at the Oak Ridge National Laboratories as well. So we are like really thriving. Like in 2020 and 2021, we are thriving, and we are almost at 100% residential capacity. And another big project that we're working on too is I'm working with Bob Cantler. There's a lot of big exodus of people coming from California, and we were working with them to relocate them, not just in homes, but in new startup communities here. And the last thing that I want to say that's new is so new, it's not even out of the box yet, but in our Entrepreneur Center, which was funded by a TVA grant, we have just acquired a 3D printer, and we will be getting that set up for the community to be using that as well. And that's it. If you want to find anything about us, I invite you to go to our website. It is so much more complete than speaking in 5 minutes, or you could contact Liz or myself directly.
Yes, please feel free to.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing all of that. That's exciting times, and I can completely agree that the trajectory and the excitement that we're seeing build around entrepreneurship has just been phenomenal as it continues to, catalyze and just grow and grow. And so thank you again for sharing that. Next up, we have Hello Career Guru. I'll just let you take it away as soon as you're ready. I did want to say this is a really cool company. It's from a Bristol native. She currently is living in New York, but I think it's also important to tell the stories of what the people from here are doing. And Susanna's been interfacing with our region and our ecosystem as well. So it's just a cool company. I think you guys will enjoy hearing about it. So Susanna, go ahead and take it away when you're ready.
David, thanks so much. I'm so impressed to be here with all these esteemed organizations and startups. And wow, so much has happened in East Tennessee since I grew up there. And I won't say what year, but then I was Susie Sullivan Keith, and went to elementary school in Bristol on through high school. And so I'm so thrilled to bring Hello Career Guru back to East Tennessee, because part of the idea for the product came from my growing up in East Tennessee. Hello Career Guru is a virtual career trainer to help all women advance professionally in their career. Our mission is to democratize career advancement for everyone, no matter what age, background, income, race, or geography. So we are a national company with strong roots in the South. And really some things that make us very different is our founders are over 50. We have 2 successful exits. We have a founder of color, and we have an immigrant. And then I've known all my co-founders for over 20 years. We have all found that really over the last 2 decades, we see women continually hitting their heads against the glass ceiling. And we realize we need to find a way to get more women into what we call the C-suite, or top level executive offices. And we have a great team of advisors to help us, many who are serious CEOs who have experience in the C-suite. So next slide, David. And how we came up with this idea was, again, the story of not seeing enough women in senior level roles when I was in high school in Bristol, to college, to business school, and to even now. When you look at the unemployment numbers that came in this month, 80% of unemployment was among women. McKinsey just came out with a study that Women are now only 47% of the workforce because women are, given COVID, are just struggling with how to do it all and keep their careers. So we need to address this concern. So what we are, as I mentioned earlier, is we're the first ever artificial intelligence powered virtual career trainer to help women advance professionally. And what happens is women get a personalized career game plan where they choose what they'd like to have their future role be. And then they get recommended actions and resources on a unifying platform. We leverage proprietary C-suite insights that really help women guide for where they want to go for the long term. So we align well with job search companies, we align well with mentoring companies, and we can really partner with a variety of different organizations to help women advance. We're currently working with NYU Business School, Adelphi University, always open to East Tennessee State University, where my dad went to medical school. But we're definitely partnering with a variety of not-for-profits to help women get ahead. So next slide, please, David. So what's new about us is that we're introducing the product in March. And here's a sample of what the game plan looks like. A woman comes in, she fills out a quick 5 to 10 minute onboarding survey. She says what her short-term goal is, her long-term goal, and she's delivered 3 key pillars of what she needs to do to advance: leadership training, behaviors to advance, and innovations to achieve. And when you look at the bottom, she's given key action items of content that's curated by us personally to match her needs, as well as original content that we have developed. So next slide, David. And what's really exciting about us is the content that we've come up with. Tonight, we have an event called 2021 Hiring Trends and Insights. We have a variety of women from Carta, from Christmas Gray, to Twitter, to you name it, talking about the latest hiring trends. And we have over 100 people attending. We've done other events and had a variety of high-level speakers. We just introduced a podcast with Mimi Swim, who's this Chief Revenue Officer of Ring, which I'm sure you're all familiar with, the doorbell. And she's talked about what it's like to manage an organization and how to balance work life. So we have a podcast channel, we have a newsletter, we have social media, which gives great insights. We have panels and classes, we even have ebooks, and we have coaching to help women reach the next level. And so again, what's new about us is introducing the first ever career platform like this that really unifies all the resources that are out there for women right now. If a woman were to go and do it herself by saying, how can I get ahead? How can I find a career coach? It might take her 12 hours on the internet based upon our research. And we found that when we did a poll among women with a group called No Instant Insights, that women really wanted a career trainer. They would pay for it and they would use it weekly. So we do have strong research results that show that there really is a critical market product fit. So next slide. So where we are is we are doing the full launch this month. We already have 78 users. We have partnerships in place with NYU, Adelphi, a group called Chick Tech, which is about women in technology. We're looking at other potential partners. We really believe right now as society, it's the perfect time for a career trainer to help women with their job transition strategies. You see many states, California, nations requiring women to be on their boards. I'm sure Tennessee will do that soon as well. And then we'd also like to offer 3 free months to your readers or to your viewers with a value of $19.99. So please reach out to me. Susanna Keith, founder and CEO. Again, I'm from Bristol. I was Susie Sullivan Keith. We're very excited to offer our product to women in the tri-states area. And that's even an area where I may want to, bring the company at some point, given the great standard of living. So again, I appreciate your allowing Hello Career Guru to participate in the call today. Thank you, David and team.
Oh, thank you so much. It's exciting to see what a Bristol native has been working on and doing, and it sounds absolutely phenomenal. So thank you for participating today. So we're coming up near to the end. We have Healthy Me with Troy, which I did see Troy on, and then we have Connect Scale or Connect Outdoors, which will be last. They submitted a video because they got called away last minute. And so, yeah, Troy, when you're ready, feel free to take over.
All right, thanks, David. My name's Troy Seibert. I'm a physician here in Johnson City, having located here in 2010 as an executive with Wellmont. Since then, I've also created my own consulting firm, continuing to base out of Johnson City while helping various healthcare institutions with their quality of care, their revenue cycles, and leadership development. Over the past couple of years, I've also been working on a different kind of clinic experience as a startup entrepreneur called Healthy Me. My work on this actually got started when I was able to win second place in that inaugural Pitches and Pints competition, as well as joined the ETSU Innovation Lab around that time. So I can certainly testify to both of those. It was a connection point to the entrepreneurship world for me here in the Johnson City area. I was able to pilot some of my models while at the ETSU Innovation Lab, and then from there was able to get an actual new primary care clinic started during the pandemic, or at least here near the end of it. So how is Healthy Me different? Next slide. Healthy Me is different in being passionate about healthcare delivery, especially in how to design a superior experience for the modern patient. Healthy Me takes advantage of technology to better serve patients. Starting from something as simple as the ability to self-schedule with little to no waiting on the day of visit, we're focused on using emerging technologies and helping you manage chronic diseases as efficiently as possible. We maximize technology such as virtual health, robust communication platforms, and home monitoring programs. We feature our Dr. Bot visit, which is essentially a text check-in on how you're doing in the management of your disease based on chatbot methodologies. At Healthy Me, we like to take technologies and apply them to optimizing your clinic experiences. Next slide. We were supposed to open a few weeks back, and I actually got COVID. So my family and I are all fine now. And we had a soft opening this week while I catch up on things and planning for more of a grand opening later in March. But we're seeing patients and scheduling appointments now. We take most major insurances, as well as programs that support the uninsured. Next slide. I appreciate the opportunity from FoundersForge, and as I mentioned, my former engagement with the Pitches and Pints competition, as well as the Innovation Lab, in getting this quick moment, and would be happy to share more details of this amazing story with anyone and explain more details of our new and exciting clinic. And you can see my contact information on the slide. Thank you, David.
Thank you, Troy. It's exciting to see this. I know this has been something you've been thinking about for a long time, and I love that technology is being kind of ingrained into the clinic experience. I guess it's going to build a more connected experience, be able to get answers a lot faster. There's a lot of less uncertainty, and so I think you're really onto something. And I'm excited to see where this grows and everywhere you take it. And also, I really appreciate you mentioning Pitches and Pints. We've seen companies that pitch just a concept, just an idea, turn that into a physical business. It doesn't always happen immediately. A lot of times they have to get a few things figured out. But we've had companies that are now the number one Etsy store, online Etsy store for small pets. We have Troy evolving. We have others working for Department of Defense contracts. We have just a variety of companies that have come out of that event. So again, we're very excited to bring that back up. And again, thanks again so much, Troy. Connect Outdoors is doing some really interesting work. They were originally Connect Scale, and they evolved into being more of a wider platform. They were all excited to be pitching today, and then ended up getting called to some investor meetings. So I'd like to think we're all with them in spirit, hoping that all that goes well today in the next few weeks as well. But in the meantime, they recorded a short video, and we'll play that, and then we'll wrap up.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ben Arnold. I'm with Connect Outdoors. We are a technology platform for the outdoor recreation industry. First, I want to thank David, Jose, and the rest of the FoundersForge team for inviting us to be a part of this. Sorry we couldn't be there in person, but we're really happy to have the chance today to be able to talk to you about Connect Outdoors. So Connect Outdoors is connecting people to the outdoors through data, technology, and unique experience. We're really focused on the fishing industry right now. We have a Bluetooth scale that helps anglers automatically log their catch data when they weigh the catch. That data is then sent over to an app where it pulls in GPS coordinates and other information that the anglers can input to start to create a personalized catch log for them. Anglers can also compete in online tournaments and events using our Connect Leaderboard tournament software. The live leaderboards allows for anglers on the water to be able to easily understand where they're at in the rankings. They can also share that information with friends and family that want to keep up with how they're performing on the water that day. We have a growing community of anglers that compete in our Connect Fishing League, and these are just a few of those anglers. We started in 2015 with the Bluetooth scale, and we're now on our third generation of scales. The Connect Fishing League community was launched in July 2019, and just this past year, we launched our Connect Leaderboard, which is our tournament management software that allows anyone to be able to easily host and run a tournament event. And today we've got an exciting announcement with a new partnership with USA Basin, which is a premier fishing tournament organization with thousands of members across the United States. USA Basin will use Connect Leaderboard tournament software to host an online virtual tournament trail. There'll be 10 regions with 4 divisions, and everyone will have the ability to qualify for the USA Basin National Championship with an opportunity to win a Bass Cat boat. One of the divisions is for high school anglers. The Next Gen High School division will have an opportunity to win $5,000 scholarship. We're excited for this partnership with USA Basin, and we feel that this is just the next step in growing Connect Outdoors. If anyone would like to host and run their own tournament trail, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm Ben at connectoutdoors.co, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have. Again, thank you for the chance to talk to you today.
Well, there we go. That's exciting to know about their upcoming tournament, and that's a pretty good sized land for them. That's really, really exciting. That's another company that's just kind of evolved over time. And as we wrap up today, and we'll go into Q&A in just a second, I did just want to state that when you hear about these startups, here and there, you just hear about this awesome company doing this and this person pursuing this idea. It's exciting to kind of know that these things are happening. But when you pull all of these together, you really get a sense of what's happening in the ecosystem. And entrepreneurship is a very tough space, but even with COVID, as challenging as it has been, many of these startups are seizing on these new opportunities. And I think it's accelerating a lot of other opportunities out there. And while we had 16, 17 total kind of pitches today, majority, I think we had 4 ecosystem announcements and the rest were startups. It's really interesting to know that this is just a part of the ecosystem. There are so many more people out there. We've had multiple signups for the boot camp programs. I know SyncSpace has had multiple people in the accelerator programs. Innovation Lab is recruiting additional companies and people approaching them and basing their new business out of that area. We've had husband and wife couples that have been thinking about doing a startup jump in 2020, and they're going to be hopefully releasing their products later this year. And so we're very, very excited, but we also know this story really needs to be told. And so we're hoping that as you've heard these stories, you've seen all these different announcements, that there are a few, if not all. These are all opportunities for new stories that could be announced over time, and we would love to have coverage on these. And again, please feel free to reach out to them directly. With that, we'll open it up to questions. Please just feel free to ask the question. Let us know who you're actually requesting the question to be towards. It can be to us as well, but feel free to, we'll just open it up. And if you need to head out, we totally understand. Slides will be sent out today, as well as the recording of this video. So are there any questions?
Hey, David, really quick, if you can hear me, it's Kaylin with WJHL. I remember your launch event, the FoundersForge launch event, and I believe it was January of last year. How has the organization evolved over the pandemic, and what effect has that had in your first year and trying to foster the growth of all these startups?
Sure. I mean, there was initially plenty of uncertainty that we were right in the beginning of pursuing some funding and support, and that obviously got delayed a little bit. But as we that initial shock settled down, we saw a outpouring of support and almost an acceleration of need for entrepreneurship activity in this region. And so I think in some ways, we were uncertain, and then really it was like a torch was lit, the match was lit, and we were off to the races to try to support and provide as much impact as we can. But I think it's also worth stating that it wasn't just about us supporting people. It was about the ecosystem coming together to get information out about PPP and EIDA loans, because those didn't apply directly to startups necessarily, depending on their structure, how they got paid. And so just the ecosystem as a whole really, I think, rose to the challenge to get information out. And so it's been an interesting year, and I almost feel guilty saying it's been an exciting year. I don't know if I'd go as far as saying good, but I do feel like all of us are doing a lot of meaningful work, and we're going to see some true economic growth come out of this because of all of the time and effort put in by the ecosystem.
David, it's been great to watch today. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
David, what can you tell us about the rebirth of the pitch competition at Cardinal Park in terms of the number of entrepreneurs you'd like to have taking part in that? Do you have prizes lined up? Do you already know what these folks will be competing for? And also with that particular space, do you have an idea right now? Have you talked with the city on how many folks will be able to attend that event?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's quite a few questions. If I miss one, let me know. The final prize money, we've got some exciting traction on that right now, and we're not prepared to announce that just yet until we get all that locked down. With the venue itself, we've had discussions on that. It's one of those things we're going to have to adjust as we get closer. However, because the seating capacity is so high, we can easily fit our existing 100 people in it spread out, because we can also leave the bleachers and kind of expand out all up to the sides and even into the field if we wanted to. And so there's a lot of room and a capacity to do that. But we will have to just make that decision as we get closer to it. And then the total number of pitchers, we try to keep it between 6 to 8, but we also have some opportunities to celebrate some of the small businesses that have been, successful and thriving and evolved through this time, as well as the high growth startups that'll be pitching. And so it's going to be a similar format, but we're going to be a little more inclusion as for kind of economic development as a whole in the region.
Thank you.
Question, how are those pitches evaluated? What are the criteria?
Sure. It is by a panel of judges, and it is usually evaluated based on just the, if you're on times, it is a timed event. If the idea carries weight, the presentation style, the slides, and then there's always a few free points for the judges to put into place. And the judges are usually investors, partners, and sponsors. And they're completely independent from the organization.
And one more follow-up on that. How do you determine who the competitors will be if you end up having more than the handful that you're looking at being able to do? How do you narrow the field?
Sure. Yeah, we have a application process, and then we have our board of directors, and usually sponsors, anybody else that contribute to the group, to the event, usually can have a say in it. And so, but there is an application process. We tend to look for earlier stage companies. So somebody that's raised, $2 million they're kind of at a different ballpark. Good pun there, right? They're at a different class, I should say. And so that we're trying to support these early ideas to cultivate it. And so the FoundersForge board and our partners all come together to make that decision.
Thank you.
May I add one thing to that, David? So previously, I've been a judge in many of these pitches and pints competitions. And what we worked with David, if there was going to be somebody that was going to be doing a pitch, then if I was judging, then Liz would help them with their pitches or vice versa. So we just want to let you know that we're willing to offer that assistance again.
Yeah, absolutely. We work with the Ecosystem Innovation Lab's been a great partner in this, where we've actually, instead of just saying, show up, give us your idea and do the best job you can, we actually offer pre-pitch training. And so there's usually 3 or 4 sessions that are kind of several weeks, if not months before the event. And so they actually go through pitch training. And as we've gotten that established, we've seen the quality and the ability of the pitchers just going up and up and just being more and more exceptional. And so I think this is going to be a very exciting pitchers and pitches event. I guess we have a whole new group of startups that I think are, they've been learning and working on their presentations and on their companies as a whole. And so it's going to be very exciting seeing them come to this competition. Yeah. Any other questions?
Just a quick clarifier, David. The 3 ecosystems that gave announcements today. So that was ETSU Student Entrepreneurship, SyncSpace, and the Innovation Lab. Do I have that right?
Yeah, and then FoundersForge too, but yeah, that'd be the total of 4.
Okay, so 4 ecosystems technically. Thank you.
And they will all be included in this pitch deck that comes out, so you have everybody's contact info as well. Any other questions?
David, did I understand you to say that you're going to be doing, or you hope to be doing, more startup media days in the future and maybe even on a regular basis?
Yeah, yes, that is the plan. I think at the minimum, we're going to do them quarterly, but I think we'll also judge it on if there's enough news to be out there. We're also encouraging the startups here in our ecosystem as a whole to reach out quite often. And we'll also be holding a workshop soon on writing an effective press release. And we'd love to engage with the press on that as well, just to help facilitate that smooth transfer of information. So this is startups in the ecosystem are a lot more accessible.
Yep, thanks.
Just a really great session, David and team.
Thank you.
Fabulous. Just enjoyed it thoroughly.
And everyone, we want to make this event better every time. And so if you guys do have feedback, you can reach out at info@myfoundersforge. We do take that seriously. A big part of what we're trying to do is build each of our events to have a high impact into the community. And so I know you guys heard of a lot today, and you got a lot of great contacts, and we're just looking forward to facilitating great events anytime we can. And so feedback, ideas, anything you'd like to see, we would love to hear that feedback. We're happy if you're critical because it'll just make us better over time. So with that, really just wanted to say, thank you guys so much. Again, if you have any additional questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. There's, the entire ecosystem is always excited to make connections and do whatever we can to see our region grow and succeed. So thank you guys so much. I'll hang around here for a little while as well. And if you need to head out, go ahead. But other than that, I'll probably stop the recording. And thank you guys all so much for attending and sharing your startup news and their existence and all the support that you guys are offering to the ecosystem. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you, David.
Nicely done, David. Good job.